Interesting. Hold on. Okay. Check, check, check. Hey there. Um, I am just picking up where I left off last night. I had a live stream last night, and I had to get called away on dad duty, which threw a little wrench in my gears, but it comes with the territory, so it was okay. Basically, we had a little health thing that we were dealing with, and I got 1.5 hours to kind of wrap it up. So I thought I'd just go ahead and hop back on and pick up where I left off. Yeah, I'd put together a little live stream last night to sort of talk about process a little bit, just a little bit. I just wanted to like unravel this little thing that happened to me yesterday, and I was going off about Discogs, and 4D had mentioned that he had some 1,000 records in his Discog collection, and I was asking about whether he uses Discogs or not to manage his collection, and then that had me like go off on a tangent like I often do, and it made me think about like Discogs and its lack of like community element, and how that's really present here in YouTube but not really present in Discogs where it should be, I would think. And went off on mentioning Concert Buddy and how he had planned to make kind of this network of people that he's doing. Actually, like, he's iterated a little bit, pivoted after he had mentioned that he'd tried to create or envision, I don't know how far he got along with it, but envision this platform of people like connecting about going to concerts and maybe making some kind of social network or some kind of simple social network, which I kind of also thought about myself with Tokyo Record Style, because Tokyo Record Style is a subdomain of record style. So anyway, was going off about that. And also there's like one little fine point about it that I thought that I was just about to make, I think, which was about Discogs kind of not working for some people because it has this you know the sellers, the onus is on the seller, sort of, to, well, it's definitely on the seller, but the reference, the index number, the exact pressing, the rating of the quality of the record, whether it's VG or VG plus, is incumbent upon the, it's a bit subjective. And so the Discogs users, both the sellers and the buyers, are having slightly different expectations for each other. And what has happened is that there's a lot of buyer remorse. And I think when you can't really play music on YouTube, and you really want to talk about YouTube, and if the topic that you want to talk about has to do with shootouts and new pressings and hi-fi stuff, which is very much a big part of music loving, I don't know if it's the biggest part, but it's definitely a part of it, then you need the correct pressing for you to give an educated critique or whatever of the thing that you're talking about. So for Discogs to not work for you is a giant wrench in your gears, because if you pay $50 to get this record from halfway across the world to get to you, and only to find out that it's not the pressing that you were promised, it's like, I'm not going to pay $50 to send it back to you. I'm just going to chalk it up as like a lost cause, and just consider it part of doing business, if you will. So there's this idea that like Discogs is just, it's too open and it's too free. Essentially, it's too free of a free market, and so that it might benefit people to be able to have something a bit more, not necessarily exclusive, but something where people are like paying a little bit more attention. And so anyway, that was something that I was thinking about, but or that was a thought that I just kind of wanted to wrap up. And then I was kind of like going off on comments here, and I want to see if I can get to some of them. God, I just like, what is the best way to do comments? let's see. 40 said that he had 1,000 records. That's how we kind of went off on the on the Discogs world. And if you, I had mentioned that I, his name's not JR, but the guy who runs NTX Vinyl, what is his name? He's got kind of a cool first name, like GS Sanders or GT Sanders or something. Yeah, he did an interview with the Discogs guys, which was kind of interesting. It was pretty interesting. 50 singles left. Yeah, my singles collection is kind of growing. I love singles. I don't love necessarily playing them at home, but I love bringing them out, and they're just like, they're fun little things. Hey again, James. I know these comments are from last night, but or maybe what is it? They were from your yesterday morning, but now they're my tomorrow morning. It's Sunday. It's Sunday morning. So, yeah, the reason that I had to kind of like hop off was because, one of my kids, it's summertime here in Japan. Like one of my kids, I feel so happy, because one of my kids is like dashing off to the sea for like 5 days, which is going to be really nice. For not, I mean, I'm going to miss them terribly, but like, it'll be nice to just, she'll have some time to go enjoy with her pals. And, she's got a really cool situation. It's not exactly summer camp, but it kind of is. It's her and some close friends. And then, my wife and my son were at a big giant concert last night. Anyway, everybody had to kind of like get their things in order. And then we also have some big kind of my kids have some travel plans. They've got some sort of camping things coming up this summer. And it's just like, summer's happening and life is moving on. And Louis C.K., the sort of canceled comedian, said in an interview a long time ago, something about how he was like waiting at the bus stop with his kids. His kids kind of like I think they're probably grown now, but they were having like a very typical, suburban sort of public school experience in America or something. And they were all waiting at the bus stop together in the freezing cold rain, snow or something one time. And Louis C.K. noticed that he was having this feeling like, this is the worst, this is like, it's just like, it's freezing and I'm out here waiting in the snow for my kids to go to school. And what am I doing? And then he had this thought that like, someday I won't have the chance to do this anymore. And I'll miss it, which is definitely not lost on me. I think about that all the time. And the example that I kind of always come to is I go buy ice cream. I buy ice cream at the supermarket, and maybe it's like, it's not necessarily the scoop out, the ice cream scoop type, but it's like, the like 10 popsicle sort of, vanilla chocolate thing kind of thing, and I'm like, ooh, and I put them into the freezer and I'm like, I'm going to have one of those tonight, or to have one of those this weekend. And then I like, only to open the refrigerator like on a Saturday night and be like, I'm going to get one of those ice creams. And then like open it and be like, I bought those and they're all gone, and then you have this moment where you're like, I provided for my family. And that's very satisfying. That is a very satisfying feeling to be felt that you've been put to use. And last night, getting kind of woke, it was like not exactly a nightmare situation. And by nightmare situation, I mean like, little kids waking up with nightmares and wanting to come and sleep with mom and dad. It wasn't like that, but it was kind of like that. It was like, I can't sleep, Dad. I got an issue. Okay, well, let's get it fixed. And it was just, it's like the greatest thing ever, kind of. There is something like really wonderful about it. And, I really don't pay much attention to this at all, but I have these people who are paying attention to me. And they end up mostly in my spam, and they mostly end up in and I don't really even see them unless I go check spam, unless I'm like diligent, and I just go make sure that there's no, nothing I missed in spam, which I try to do, but I don't really do that often. But every once in a while I'll miss one, something will get into spam that maybe doesn't deserve to spam. What I'm about to talk about all definitely deserves to be in spam, but sometimes people will write me the the craziest things, and I kind of tend to delete them before I even finish reading them. But I have been sent a bunch of fucking weird stuff by people, like really, really uncolorful things. Unbelievable. Like really, like like pathetically sad things that I'm just, oh God, I like my heart breaks for these people that this is what they're like life has come to, that they don't have enough things that they to fill their lives with things to do, that they actually have time to like try to bring people down to the misery where they are, but they fucking comment on my family. And it's just like that should be like, actually they should that should be off limits. That should be like where we all draw the line here. I do want to put that out there. Like to bring people's personal families into this stuff is definitely not cool. It's super, super uncool. I don't mind actually riffing on my family. I'm a pretty out there person, and I don't, but they're underage. My kids are. They're not of age. And my wife has no interest in being out there. She's just not that kind of person. So I respect their privacy. As I'm not like militant about it, but I'm just like, I'm mindful about it. And for these fucking yahoos to come on and you know to just presume that everything on out here is fair game, really, it's a low, it's really a cockroachy kind of thing to do. So I just, I try to have compassion, but it's really just, uh, it's pity. But I'm gonna try to just like I just feel so grateful that I have things in my life that fill it up with, just trying to be, useful and trying to have the world. I'm trying to make myself useful to the world, and I try to find opportunities for the world to make use of me. And that seems to, like, I seem to get used up a lot. I waste my times, to a degree that I am ashamed of, but mostly I'm trying my best to put myself out there in a creative way. And when I say creative way, I don't mean like an artsy way. I mean like a creation kind of way. I want to create some things and contribute to the world, and not just take from it. I want to add to it. And I don't know, like I don't have to wish myself to do that. That's my default. I think I see a lot of that on out here. I see a lot of people like who are compelled to like tell stories, who are compelled to celebrate music and celebrate their lives. And I just see like a handful of people who are like they don't have enough to contribute. They have to constantly be taking, and it's really hard to not have anything but pity for them. But I'm gonna try to have compassion. But the kids, like, let's kind of like leave the kids out of the equation really here. I want to put that out there. And anybody um who kind of brings kids into the conversation, I think you should be shunned, and I think everybody should kind of say like, no, that's not cool. That's should definitely not be approved and approved. That should not be. We should not be complicit in that. And I would really, anytime that I see that kind of behavior, whether directed at me or directed at somebody else, you're going to hear me calling it out. And yeah, so anyway, but yeah, it was nice to be kind of called away on dad duty, on like in the middle of the night. It was kind of cool in whatever way that it is cool. um yeah, so that's kind of how I got distracted. Let's see here. 40 said again last night, one motivation to listen closely to a record is with the aim of writing about it, like in, say, record collector news or on a website maybe. So makes listening a creative act. Yeah, okay, well, there we go, talking about creative act. Yeah, I totally agree. Like, this is the thing, I would be a terrible critic. I like to critique. I like the idea of a crit. That's what they call it in architecture world, a crit, and probably in art world as well. But like when you're a young architecture student, you shop around your student projects and you very much solicit the critique of your peer, the people you look up to. And I just there's nothing in my collection, and I don't even know if I could find something at the record store. And this sounds like mentioned this before. Like I have taste, I have what I like, but I'm not there. I'm not like it doesn't make sense to me. Just like it doesn't like my brain just doesn't work that way to like listen to something and be like, I hate it. I just hate that album, or I hate that artist, or I hate the sound of that artist's guitar or tone or voice or whatever. I listen to, you know, I look for what I like in the record. I look for what's interesting. It's not even really about liking or disliking. It's about like what's interesting, of interest, And I'm always thinking like, wow, this artist thought that this album was worth making. Like, what is it that I'm not seeing that they're seeing? That's interesting to me. It's a dead end to see like, I don't like it. Okay, well, why? Why don't you like it? So, what makes it not likable, or what makes it likable? That's what I don't know. I just can't listen to a record or listen to music, or even like look at any act of creativity and be like, I don't like it. I just look at it and be like, it's an expression of something. So what is being expressed? It's like looking at a code, or looking at like hieroglyphics and being like, I don't like it. Well, of course you don't like it. You don't understand it. So let's figure it out. Like, what could it possibly be about? What could this be? And it's the like mystery of not knowing what it is, which is extremely interesting to me. So yeah, I think this notion of like writing about records, saying record collector news, that's what Tokyo Record Style really sprung from. And I feel guilty because I'm ignoring it, but it's very much like writing project before it is this YouTube channel. I've actually got I'm literally like 8 months behind on my stock. I've got an arsenal of stockpiled photos of people that I photographed on the streets with their record collections, and I need to write about them. But this ends up taking, like, I made a little video yesterday, and it was just like a pithy. Oh, I don't want to call it pithy because it was really heartfelt, but it was just kind of a thing that I needed to make on the fly. I just needed to make a little thank you video. It was nothing really conceptual, and I just wanted to say thank you. But it took me like 8 hours to say thank you. Not because I'm complaining about it, but just because I wanted it was an opportunity to do something with it. So I made this little video for some VCLT that was sent my way, and it was a chance for not only me to say thank you, but a chance to be like, this is why I'm so excited about this. And it took a really long time. And all of these YouTube things, they take, I mean, unless you're just going quickly, they take time. And that was something I want to talk about. I don't have so much time because this is going to end in about an hour's time. But yeah, the creative act. I just love reading those two words, creative act. So sometimes I kind of read my own writings on YouTube as videos, and I'm going to actually commit to doing that a bit more. Sometimes I'm kind of like, what should I make a video about next? But I have a backlog of things that I've written, of books, two Harry Potter's worth of writing, like 900 pages or something of just essentially, well, musings. I was about to call them scribbles, and just, but they're musings about music and about life and about philosophy and about, yeah, meeting people on the street. So I'm gonna read them some from time to time, and I'm gonna be like, yo, these are the people I met on the street. Here's their picture, and this is what I wrote about them, and blah blah blah. There's a handful of them on my channel, but I'm gonna do some more of them because I have like a bottomless supply of them. And I'm gonna try to do them, but I need to actually write them more. And every time I sit down, it's like this is really at the heart of what I want to talk about, but and I'm not going to be able to unravel the whole thing today, but like that's like waiting for me. That's sitting there waiting for me to do. It's like, ah, I gotta write, I gotta write. Ah, what else can I do besides write? You know, because writing takes like it takes, you know, there's I don't know what this is called, but like you know, like if you're working on something, maybe if you're like me and you have like tasks that you have to do in the day, and there's like priorities of the tasks that you have to do, and it's like for example, here's an example. You have an inbox, you know, and you need to reply to the oldest messages first. It's just logic, you know. You need to get to the people who are waiting for you the longest first. And yet you see like a couple that have come in at the top that you're like, oh, those are easy answers. I can click those off real quick. And then I can go to these ones that require more attention, but they're actually higher priority. But I'll feel good about getting these few things out of the way first. And then those guys get pushed down a little bit further and a few more things come in easy. And then you kind of get in this flow state where you're like, you can click out, you can bing, 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 bing. You can get all these little wins quickly. And the big one that's waiting for you, which requires a lot of focus and a lot of attention, you have to like, you know, psych yourself up for it. And then once you get one under, you're like, all right, I'm like, let's gung ho, let's do this. And then you get into the next one, and then you're in that zone, right? And then you can't get off that train. And then somebody comes and be like, hey, can you help me? No, I'm done. I'm doing something else right now. And then you're like, you're in full gallop, you know? And I don't know, some there's something about that like with writing. And you have to like get into the groove literally. And then once you're in there, you're fine. But it's the, you know, just do it, which is the greatest motto from any company. It's just like the greatest you know, yeah, just do it. Like the running is hard. The jogging, the getting to the gym, that is hard. That's not the hardest part. The hardest part is laying on the sofa and be like, I should go. Just get up off the sofa and go. Just go put on the sneakers and just go. Just go. Just get off this couch. Like get up. Just get up. That's the hardest part. Because once you get going, you're like, why was it so hard? Why could I not get off the couch? You know, that's the hard part. And anyway, writing is like that too. And boy, it's got my pile is like so looming so high over me that I'm like, I'll just make another YouTube video and like, I'll get to the writing eventually. And now it's like, you know, like tipping over on me. I'm like, I gotta get back to it. Sorry, went off there. Okay, it sounds like you had an invite. Sounds like you had an invite to show up at 11. Why didn't you just go then? I had an invite to show up at 11. Oh, I didn't. You're talking about yesterday's meeting with the bookstore. No, I didn't. I should. Yeah, that's actually not a bad point. But I mentioned on the first half of this stream that kind of evaporated last night that I was going to go to this bookstore, and yes, maybe I could have, but at any rate, what ended up happening is like me not going to this bookstore allowed me that where I was going to go make a video, and that I was kind of like on standby waiting for the phone call to get the yes or no if I could go. What it did was it allowed me to make this other video that I did end up making that I showed last night. And if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. This is a thank you video, but I talk about music a little bit and some things that are important to me. But why I made that video and not the other video, which I had mentioned, this one where I'm supposed to talk about this stack of records, is that I started that video about 100 times. And I was like, hey, this is Brian from Tokyo Reconcile. And today I'm going to talk about the second. Okay, wait, I'm going to start over. All right. Hey, record loving friends and photography loving friends. Let me start over. And it's like, I did that like 100 times. And like I just like couldn't get it off the ground, and like I did it so many times that I had to be like, okay, Brian, this is ridiculous, like just like maybe write a script. But I know, and you guys who make videos regularly will know this, I think, you know that again, it goes to this thing about the process. That's really what I'm trying to get at today, is the process. Is that like once you get going, it's kind of easy. And sometimes it's like getting the concept out there. Okay, like today's video is about this thing. Oh, wait a second. That's not exactly what I have to set this up. Okay, all right, take two. Today's video is about this, and you're like, and then like take three, you just get past this like initial starting gate, and then you're off to the races, and then it's easy, and then you're like, blah, 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 and you have like no problem. But there's something about like, or it's sometimes what often happens is like you get 5 minutes into a thing, and then something like gets you off the rails and you get a little distracted and you kind of like, wait a second, did I already say that? Wait, what did I say? I wish I could go back and watch the thing that I just said. Like, oh, I'm lost. And like, where do I go back to? And okay, I'll cut this part out. And you're thinking to yourself, and then you're like, fuck, I gotta start over, and then you like, there goes 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it might be. Sometimes it's like that. But that kind of speaks to this notion of like going live versus like making a preconceived video that you want to like put out as like a video. And I find them to flex two totally different muscles. And one of those muscles is like when you're doing the lives, you don't care if you just kind of like lose your train of thought, or you just go completely off script, or the conversation just completely goes off the rails, because it's just somehow like you being live and you forcing yourself to come up with the next thing. It just forces you to do a thing. It forces you to get your ideas out there. Whereas if you do this premeditated thing where there aren't people watching, you're not accountable for, what am I trying to say? You're not like, you're not accountable for filling dead space. So it's easy for you to be like, oh, okay, wait a second, let me think about that for a little bit. And when you're live, you just can't do that. Not exactly. So it's an interesting, and it's like the live stream is infinitely easier, I think, even though it sounds like it would be harder, just because it's like the pressure of other people being there or something. It's like this. I'm sure it's the same in the studio. I'm sure like a live gig, even though you've got a crowd of 5,000, 500, or 5,000, or 5 people, whatever it might be. I mean, there's not even 5 people here, but somehow, like even just one person, it's sometimes like, it's, yeah, what I'm trying to say. It's sometimes it's scary, but usually it's like the act of just putting yourself out there and like, okay, push on through. Okay, I fucked that one up, but let's just push on through. Then it's like, it forces you to get through it. Whereas if you're not being forced to just power through, like if you were like on a stage giving a speech at a wedding, like you just can't like throw in the towel. You got to get through. And if the tears start coming, you have to dry the tears and continue the speech. You just can't walk off stage. So, but you can with the premeditated video. So anyway, I'm going to get to these comments. I keep thinking that if I put my glasses on, I'm going to be able to see the comments easier. They're like a little far away from me. Film soundtracks, Beatles, 60s jazz, no database, no discogs. Okay, 40's talking about his 1,000-piece record collection. No shelving, they're all over the floors. That's not good. Chuck T was in the house last night. Not sure if you're here this morning. I'll maybe be able to, these are last night's comments. I do have one revolving 7-foot-tall record rack from the 70s. Okay. I myself am 6'2". 40 is 6'2". Wow. Wait. I myself am a 6'2" revolving record rack from the 1960s. Oh, 40's got little. 6'2" is pretty good. Well, so is 5'2", but I kind of, what is the, I kind of like, I'm 6 foot and I kind of go around Japan and it's like, I kind of feel like I'm the average, like the world's average somehow. And sometimes I see Japanese people who are like, got a good 8 inches on me occasionally, you find, and they're like really noticeable. Then every once in a while, you'll see like a Westerner who is, 6'4" or 6'2" even, or 6'7". You're like, whoa. And then you think like, oh, you're not really, they're tall, but they're not that tall in their, I don't know, something about being in Japan where I don't know if it's it's a misconception that like Japanese people or Asian people are not as tall as like Western people. That's a total misconception. But um, I don't know if it's a total misconception, but basically it is, because there's just, I see tons of people who are taller than me all day long. But yeah, I am slightly attuned to it because, yeah, something about an international city and a world average. I don't know what I'm saying. Um, what's up? Dude ass face. I was so happy. My little thank you message. I got sent some VCLT. Did you like my video? Did you see my video? I made a video last night about it was just a thank you video for some VCLT. It's out there. I didn't really expect it to perform, but I wanted to make it anyway, and it was fun to make. And happy Sunday morning. I should play some Velvets. Sunday morning. Discogs is so interesting. How much has changed everything about vinyl and music collecting? Yeah, I mean, I think they used to have like the price guides, and they can't get updated every. It's like you don't know the most recent prices. So Discogs is really an interesting thing. I just think that the onus is on the public to manage it, and can you really trust the public? I was saying just yesterday, talking about the Epstein situation. And I just read the wiki page. Like I just don't know really who to trust, on this stuff. And like I don't think wiki is like particularly trustable, I guess. I mean, but I kind of think it's like encyclopedia. It's an encyclopedia, right? Okay, I'm just gonna. It seems like it should be neutral territory, even though people on the right will be like, you can't trust that. You know who runs that? You know how you can change something on there? You have to pay to, And so, okay. But I was reading about. Why did I bring this up? Yeah, just about kind of like, yeah. I was reading about this Epstein stuff, and like all these people have fucking died. Like all these, like, this like somebody took their life, somebody fell off the back of a boat, somebody was like died in the, and just like, it's like really, underbelly, secret society kind of thing. You can't help but like read into it, right? I like all these people attached to this story, and it's just like written there. And like this person said that don't touch this. And remember, there was a scene in House of Cards. I don't really remember it that well, but there was this like scene in House of Cards where there's like they're in Washington D.C. and they're like on the subway platform, and I forget if it's like the president himself, played by Kevin Spacey, or one of the henchmen, or I feel even weird saying henchman, but there's like one of the cronies is like on the platform, and the opposing candidate or whoever it was who was somehow blocking a bill or whatever it was, they're just walking down the train line, and boop, they just push this guy into a moving train. And then that episode ends. It's really made an impression on me. And God, it's like, if that's the stakes that people are playing, I mean, and that's not even to talk about like all these conflicts that are going on, but the fact that you'd like have a friend or an acquaintance and be like, take care of it, make it go away. It's fucking scary, man. It's scary. And like people with lives and people with like families, and like, make it go away. It's just, if that's the level that you to get to that level of society, you have to fucking off people. And I mean, I don't know, like, okay, it's fine. Like premeditated, what are we talking about? But like versus genocide. I mean, which is worse? Obviously, the latter, but oh God, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just like, I was reading this fucking wiki page about Epstein. I was just like, let me just read some semi-neutral content about this guy. Where is he from? How did he get his start? Where does this story begin? That's kind of what I wanted to get at. And man, the guy was diabolical, like totally diabolical. He was this thing called like a what was it, like a raid? Like a corporate raider, like went into these companies and like bought them and like outvoted all, like bought 50.001% of the shares, and then like outvoted the board and put these companies under, and it's like ultimate greed, according to the wiki page. And not to even talk about all the salacious stuff, but um but my friend was saying like you can't trust Wikipedia, it's made by the public. And that's where that's where I was going with this, is that Discogs is run, it's a public generated, what do they call it, like it's a public generated database. And can we really trust the public? We should. It's a free market, but it fucks everybody over, I think, regularly. And people don't get the records that they wrote because people aren't smart enough to play by the rules or to do it the right way or whatever. I'm kind of like noticing my little Frankenstein, what do they call these, like, what are those terminals? I feel like they're terminals on my ears. Okay, I'm still getting through last night's comments. My friend and I wanted to make a record store that was antithetical to modern record stores. That's cool. Seems like it's easier to start a creative store in Japan or Tokyo. That's a nice comment, dude ass face. Want to make a record store that was antithetical to the modern record stores. Yeah, I was thinking about this. I'm rambling at this point, but like I was thinking about this sidecar situation. That I've got. I'm going to be working on this sidecar project for like a year. It's going to be it's a long thing that I'm working on. And I eventually need a place to park it. I kind of have a place to park it here at my home. I don't like have a big garage, and I don't have like a big, driveway. I have enough room for what we have. Bicycles, and if I bring a sidecar into the equation, like bicycles can't get out, and somebody's going to be rolling their eyes at me, and like we're going to have to move one vehicle out to get, it's like, ugh. So I kind of have been thinking that I'll park it somewhere else. And that's what a lot of people do in Japan. They don't have parking, so you rent a parking space and you just kind of like incorporate it into your monthly bills, and a lot of like neighbor residential areas might have like a central parking lot where everybody is parking their cars, and whether you're renting or you have a mortgage, you pay $200 or $300 a month to have a parking space that's not attached to your residence. So, and then there are these other like creative apps where there's apps where like you can like rent parking. It's like Airbnb, but for like parking. Anyway, I was thinking last night, I was taking my kid to go do a little bit last minute shopping. And I was thinking, I need a little garage like that. I should rent, I have a little storage container that I have to rent for a whole bunch of like photography stuff that I have. It's not cheap. It's expensive actually. And I was thinking like, oh, if I took that money and like if I put it towards something else, like if I close that thing down and then like paid a little bit more and found I could find maybe like a little spot, like a little garage. Doesn't need a toilet, doesn't need a sink, doesn't need anything. It's basically a storage container, but I need to find like something else. If I could find like a little tiny clubhouse where I could like park a motorcycle in there and like maybe even like build a little stereo in there. I don't even know, like build a little clubhouse that's essentially like a storage container, but it's like maybe somebody's I don't know, like that would be a fun little place to broadcast from. That's now my gears are turning on that. But that might cost like it could be really expensive, prohibitively expensive, could be impossibly hard to do. It could be like $1,000 a month, which I just don't have the budget for. But to your question, dude, it seems like it'd be easier to start a record store here. I mean, I think here, I'm not sure, but you don't like rent a giant, I don't even know square meters or square feet. You don't rent like a 500 square meter place or a 500 square, or a, I don't know, 1,500 square foot place. You just rent these little cubbies, right? Essentially, some record shops are bigger, but everything has this kind of compartment sized sort of thing happening. And so it's like how to maximize the use of this compartment. You have one little cubby in the giant city of Tokyo. How can you, and it, you got to pay a big investment up front. You don't necessarily have to like knock down walls and put in plumbing and move in toilets, although that is part of the equation sometimes. But you can get kind of these like basically empty boxes and be like, okay, I'm going to do this on the budget. I'm going to buy some budget furniture or do a DIY thing. And I'll just have my one thing. I'll have my one big expense, and it'll feel very pop up, and then it will develop over time. And I don't think there are less of these sort of grand visions for a record shop, and it's sort of like this pop up thing, and whether it will like germinate, take root or not. So I think it kind of is maybe easier to start a sort of creative idea in Japan. It's like, yeah, it seems like it would be easier to do that like in America, but I think it might actually be easier to do here. As crazy as it sounds, not sure. Okay, still on last. Should I skip over a bunch of oh, there's not so many. Okay. I like Rojas's needle drop videos. He's got the formula down. I like to hear the small sections of each pressing A, B back to back. Check them out. Yeah, I'm watching those. I like them too. I get a little bit, not because of not, this is not a comment on Jason at all, but I get a little bit bored by them, which is rich for me to say because I do them too on Twitch. But I'm kind of thinking that like I play them because I want to play them, and I know Jason's playing his records because he wants to play his records too. But he's also like he's entertaining. He's entertaining you. I don't mean he's like, and he is entertaining, but his I mean, I should say my goal is that as well. It's like to entertain, but really I kind of just like want an excuse to listen to my records. I wonder if he thinks about it like that too. I'd like that would actually be a question I would pose to him. But he's got the balls to play the records and put himself at risk to the YouTube strikes. Now I think it's highly unlikely that he's going to get a YouTube strike. He'll definitely get a claim. And there's like a difference between a claim and a strike. And you can have like an infinite number of claims. And, I don't know if you can have an infinite number, but you can have claims don't necessarily jeopardize your channel, but strikes do. And anything that is a claim could potentially be a strike, essentially. I think, unless I've got it wrong. Somebody maybe can educate me a little bit, but I've kind of looked into it fairly deeply. You have 3 strikes, and I have all 3 of my strikes. But I don't even want to jeopardize one strike because the thought of like creating all of this creativity to put all of this stuff out there, and this is maybe like the wrong way to go about it. I admit, like maybe this is not the way to think about it. Because you think about it, it's like Jason or anybody who's like, putting their channel on the line, swinging that big, mad respect. Because I'm like too like, oh, but I gotta monetize my channel. And I mean, I am thinking I have kids, I have a fucking house, and like I do want to have like a little retirement plan. I have no idea what's going to come of YouTube, but I don't expect to, I don't expect to have thousands of followers, but I can only assume that if you played this game for 10 years, it's like in 10 years time, you're going to have like, maybe everybody will still be here in 10 years time. And then they'll be like, it'll have grown 10 times and it'll be exactly the same that it is now. But I know that every time I stream on one of these platforms, it tells me, oh, you're one of our top 10, you're streaming more than anybody else, and YouTube also, like I get a little things from them that say like, you're doing really good. And of course, I'm sure it's just kind of like brainwashing me into like, in fact, I just heard like the phone go bing, bing, my phone or something on my computer went ding, ding, and it made me look over there, and I got my coffee, and wasn't thinking about a drink of coffee, but I'm conditioned. I've been brainwashed. I'm Pavlovian. I'm a dog. I just do what they tell me to do. But YouTube does reward me, and there's a little bit of an incentive to do this kind of the right way and have cake and eat it too. My life has been nothing but having cake and eat it too. Somebody told me I'm probably likely to come back in the next life as like a really lowly organism of sorts for how good I've had it in this life, because I just keep I don't want to say like tempting fate, but I mean a sidecar, or like, I don't know, like Japan, or like naming my kids the names that I name them, or I don't know. I'm like, I'm having fun. I'm trying to make the life fun. I feel like that's a top priority. Responsibilities, yes, but not at the expense of fun. And can you have responsibility and still have fun? That's the goal, I think. We were joking about Kanye. I think it was Jamie Foxx was like, what's the story? The story is like Jamie Foxx is telling the story of a young Kanye coming to his studio and watching Dave Chappelle's latest, or maybe it was Chappelle actually. He told the story. Chappelle, he's like, he invites Kanye over to watch some unreleased Chappelle show footage, and Kanye gets a call while they're sitting there at the control desk watching unreleased episodes of Chappelle show, and he says, "Yeah, I can't talk right now. I'm at Chappelle's house. Yeah, I'm watching unreleased footage of the Chappelle show because I'm dope." And I do dope shit. And, it gets a big laugh from the, late night audience that it has. But we were joking about the other day, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have a dope life, I'm trying to do dope shit. And I see a lot of people out there who are like, and this is not you who was watching, because I love all you guys, but like there are some people out there who definitely do not have a dope life and who definitely are not doing dope shit. But pretty much all of you guys who are on here do. But yeah, I do like Jason's recipe. I'm not really willing to tempt fate. I'm too much of a wuss to really like risk my channel to say like, you're getting a YouTube strike. Oh my God, I only have 2 left. All this hard work, years and years of hard work that I've done, like I risk losing it all just because I played a Beatles record or something. I do not want to go there. So it's the same thing about being in Japan and like drugs, like smoking a joint. Like maybe that would be fun, just like you're up in the mountains, you're on the riverside, your friend says like, "Hey," and you're like, okay. And I'm like, "Come on, dude." You're like, what the hell? We're on the fucking river, it might be just like, and then like panic for a little bit and be like, "Oh yeah, this is actually not bad." But like, I don't even want to like, I get too much on the line, I risk losing my family, top priority. I risk everything. Like, it's just like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it for a millisecond of fun. It's not worth it. So there are some lines that I'm not willing to cross, and I don't know, like streaming on Twitch. I don't. If I have a gajillion followers on Twitch, then maybe I'd feel the same way. But right now, there's like nobody there, and it's just me playing records. And there's like 4 of us. Yornimer is one of the guys who's coming on, whose comment I saw. Go follow me on Twitch if you want to. It's I'm just Tokyo Record Style on Twitch, and I do spin records there because it's low stakes, and I don't really mind if I get my Twitch channel canceled. I do mind, but I don't. It does. Twitch isn't chock full of like creative passion that I put out there. Do you guys want to? Oh shit! Where am I? Hold on, let me just check real quick. I think I'm about ready to wrap up here. I have to think about this for a second. Let me just see. Okay, that means I don't have a whole lot of time left. She had to be there at 8. No. Okay, I think I have like, well, dang it. You guys want to come and hang out? You want to come say hi? If anybody, I'll put out a link. If anybody wants to come say hi, I have like maybe 20 minutes, and it may be like a hard out. It may be not, but it may be like, maybe I could go on. I don't know. I'll play it by ear. But if anybody wants to come up, I'll put this out there. Let me just give me like a few seconds to read these comments, but I'll put this out there. And then don't feel obliged. I'm happy to be up here by myself. But if you want to come up and hang out, yeah, I'm just going to put the link out there. Let me see here. Where's my comment? Okay, Herc's in the house. What's up, dude? That one is from last night. Those are all the comments from last night. Where to, guys? Yeah, and then here we go. From the morning, Ohio, says Project Random. Ohio gozaimasu. That's good morning in Japanese. Ohio, like, yeah, forwarded in Ohio. 2 Harry Potter's worth. Yes, it's true. I have that many. Hey, Richard, Vinyls Tab House. I do have that many. I have like 900 pages of prose. I don't know if I call it prose, but I have like 500 or 900 pages. I forgot what it is. Whatever it is. I have the equivalent of a Harry. I was like, I wonder can I write a book? I'd always imagined I'd write a book someday, but I thought it'd be like a novel and that I'd have to sit down and start it, like, and write it and like start it and finish it. And it would take me a year and I'd have to like focus on it. But I didn't really realize that, like, little by little, this is how one might write a book, is just chipping away at it, a page a day, which is what I did for like 2 years. And I was kind of mesmerized by how much I wrote, actually. And it was actually an incredibly rewarding experience. And I stopped, and I'm frustrated because I really want to get back on that horse. I can write for ages if I'm in a quiet environment where I have no pressing BS that I have to fuss over. Yeah, interesting. Okay, Richard, I'm a bit jealous of that. I think if I'm given that kind of space, I'm like, okay, let's find something else to do. Let me just psych myself up with let me listen to a song, or let me doom scroll on something, or let me read that random article on Wikipedia that I just was curious about, and let me learn about ocelots. What can I learn about ocelots? Maybe that'll give me inspiration, and I'll do anything but the task at hand. But that happens sometimes. So I admire that. If you don't have anything to do, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine if I had nothing to do. I can't even imagine, like, never having to go to the job again. I mean, like, I have the entire day to do whatever I want. Can't even imagine. Let's see here. Yornimer, sup, dude. Buck stops here in the house. Hold on, my kid's name goes across borders too. Yeah. It happens. I think I just heard. Okay, hold on. I see somebody. Can I see a backstage? Where can I see a backstage? Hold on, let me see here. Oh, wait, there might be a couple of you guys. Oh, there's Silva. Okay, just a second, dude. Let me just get through these comments real quick, and then let me get to a place where I've got them all. Just give me a second. Damn, I'm glad I hit this before I went to sleep. Okay. I'm your latest night audience. I'm your late night evening prostitute. Let's see. It's all about law and constitutionality. Okay, we're talking. Yo, okay, dude. All right, perfect. I got through everybody. Stefan from South Africa in the house. What's up, dude?
Oh, strange. I've never been on Restream before. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound good. I can do this as well. Maybe hold on. Oh no, not that one.
No,
Maybe
no.
this one.
In the backstage, I was black and white. I was like sepia or
Right, right.
because yeah, I'd had problems. I mean, StreamYard also for me, just wow, looking good actually.
Not bad. I
How's the
should probably
sound?
clean up the
I mean,
background and stuff, but
no,
yeah,
Brian.
it's okay.
I just jumped on. I just got back from the pub with a mate of mine. We just spent the night talking about music, you know.
Nice, nice,
He's a
wonderful.
mate of mine. Actually, I just watched the most amazing live stream on some seminal South African music, which we're going to chat about, not tonight, another time. But I just thought, hey, I'm up. I'm going to jump on. Um,
Cheers. Nice to see you.
because you and I always just like cross weird
I
times.
know. Thank you for being up. It's got to be in the middle. It's 2 in the
Whenever
morning
you
or
are
something.
on, who gives a shit anyway?
Okay.
Don't matter.
Okay.
It's just like when you're on to like the one show where I know I can just jump on and say, hello,
Cheers, man.
I'm
Yeah,
back, I'm
man.
here. You know,
Yeah, nice to see
we
you.
don't want to talk about we don't want to talk about politicians. We don't want to talk. You know, my mate and I tonight. He's into music. I'm into music. We've both got legal backgrounds. We look at constitutionality, law, etc. I don't give a shit about the politicians right now. I give a stuff about some of the musicians. Many have died this week. We can talk about that.
Oh God,
And
yeah.
we like legal stuff. And man, I'm sorry you're not allowed to smoke marijuana in Japan. Um,
It's
um,
not a big loss. I've kind of
no,
passed.
Brian. Actually, I'm going to be straightforward.
Can you smoke in
You
South
know,
Africa?
we could smoke. Yeah. In Cape Town, it's legal. We got
Well,
like
it is legal.
gummy
That's what I want
bars
to
and
know. Not is
yeah,
it's
yeah.
legal?
You don't touch alcohol. I've got a little drink here right now. I got my cigarette.
Okay.
Hey, at 58, I am who I am.
Yeah, go for it, man. Be
Um,
yourself. Be you.
well, absolutely. Otherwise, we're never going to roll with these shows. You cannot pretend. And
No.
I sat there tonight, and I was sitting with a mate of mine, and there was a kid who came up, and so there was me. So I'm wearing a red puffer jacket, and I've got my little Scorpio zipper thing on because I'm a Scorpio,
Okay.
and I got my red campus shoes on
Nice
because
from
I'm
Spain.
I
Yeah.
can be
You're a
a fashion slut.
fashionista. Okay.
Yeah, and my mate's a lawyer, whatever, and the guy comes and touches. We're sitting in a pub just
Uh-huh.
after work. Put his hands around both of us. Hello, and then comes back, and this place has got slot machines and stuff. There's weird stuff that happens in pubs here. It's like the
Okay.
UK,
I can imagine. Yeah.
gambling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't like places where people gamble. What's the desperation? I don't
Right.
gamble.
Right.
Right.
Me neither. Yeah.
Um, I mean, my only drugs are alcohol and cigarettes. I'll be straightforward.
Yeah.
That's
That
my
got
dopamine.
Zappa, by the way. Well, no, actually Zappa didn't even drink, but the cigarettes got him.
Oh, yeah. Anyway,
Anyway.
so this guy comes, just got to tell you something, kind of puts arms around both of us, and then after that goes into the slot machines. It comes back and kind of catches me alone. Right now, in the old days, and I've
Yeah.
got good gaydar, I've got a lot of good gay friends, but I'm wearing red, I'm looking quite slick. He's hitting on me,
Okay.
and remember we spoke about the Biko thing. I'd been in
Right.
prison.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
arrested.
Yeah.
No. What after a policeman has stripped you naked,
Yeah.
nobody must touch your physical body.
Okay.
And he did that, but I didn't get aggressive. There was another guy sitting there who wanted to get aggressive. I just said, calm the fuck down, excuse my language. And I used words. I wordsmithed it. And
Okay.
I just said to him, if imagine, so you came around me and my mate, you
Right.
were like, hey, I'm here.
Right.
All right. Then you saw um, I'm wearing some fancy red clothes, etc. I might be your little, and this guy's like 20 years old, younger than me,
Okay.
right?
This is a stranger, by the way. You don't know this
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah. This is tonight, first time I ever seen him.
Okay. All
And I
right.
wordsmithed it. I said to him, "What would you have done?" Getting back to if that was my, and you go and touch a stranger, and that's my daughter sitting there.
Right. Yeah.
And I said, "Look me in the eye."
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's
I mean,
yeah.
people are so. It's like this whole Epstein thing. I don't care about whatever. Just don't touch another person. Don't traffic them. Disrespect them. And in a space, be respectful. And don't ever touch a person you've never met.
Yeah. Yeah. We're
Don't
kind
touch
of.
them.
I think we're in a yeah. It's a little bit of a confusing time, admittedly,
It's
because
very, and Brian, this is why I like to come up with your show
yeah.
because I can vent.
Yeah. Go
Um,
for it.
and I'm not talking politics. I'm just talking, you know,
Yeah. Sure.
human morality.
Sure.
I don't care whether you're a Dem or a Republican, or that means nothing to me. I just see there's Wyoming Dave's here. I mean, you've got people now. Brian, this channel is going to grow because like you just allow a space that's different. We're going to talk about cameras. We talk about cameras.
I have.
I've never every show I'd been on previously, I would prepare lighting, this, that. I get here, I just like put that light down there, pop my headphones on, I can talk and I can be me. And you don't understand. You've got a show right now that's allowing people a voice, but don't let the trolls and anybody else take you over
Oh, cheers, man. Yeah, no, I
because
don't plan to.
you have such a beautiful thing going.
Oh man, I'm so flattered and touched to you. You too, man. The feeling is mutual. I get a great vibe off of you. In fact, there's not anybody who I don't really, but you can always come on with a good vibe and you're excited and passionate about the things you're. I love hanging out. Yeah, for sure. Anytime. I have a funny
Of course,
story. Yeah, go ahead.
you got.
I have a
What
funny
about
story
me?
for you.
But
Your story reminded me of actually two funny stories. One of them is a bit long. I probably won't go into, but I've had the experience where it's kind of a grand story. I think I've actually told it on Rachel's show one time, but I mistakenly I asked a guy who was hitting on me. He had told me that I asked him if he had a girlfriend, not knowing if he was. I didn't assume that he was gay, and he said, "I don't have a girlfriend, but that guy who's sitting across the bar, I'm keen on him tonight. I'm smitten with this guy across the bar." And I said, "That guy?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, that guy's my buddy. I know that he's not gay." And he said, "Oh." And I said, "Well, that poses an interesting question. If you know somebody is not gay, um, does that does that prevent you from going to like potentially, flirt with them?" And he said, like, why do you want to know? And he started like touching my leg, and I was like, ah ha ha ha. And then it got to be this whole sort of like uncomfortable thing where it went on to the point where it went on too far, and it was like kind of this crazy thing. And it's a long story, but there's another funny story that I have about touching people. I was at a concert one time, and I was up in the front row, and I think I was like dancing by myself, kind of ish. It was like I think it was like the opening band or something. And I'm
I
kind of
like Billy Idol sang,
yeah,
dancing by myself.
myself. Yeah. And I'm kind of like I'm up there this like I'm trying to like, be that one guy who gets the rest of the audience, up and dancing on their feet, right? Because it's like a great band on stage and nobody's dancing. They're like maybe my friends. Totally forgot who it was. But then this other guy comes up and he's like dancing next to me. And I'm like, oh, nice, dude. Yeah, we're dancing, And he's like, he's dancing and I'm dancing. And like, he starts like, he's kind of like getting down and I'm getting down with him. And then like, he starts like drumming on my shoulders. Okay. And he's like drumming on my shoulders. And I'm like, yeah, dude. Yeah. And then he's like drumming on my shoulders. And then I'm like, I keep dancing. And he like drumming again on my shoulders. And then it's like, it's kind of like incessant. He's kind of keeps, and finally he's like playing the djembe on my back, and he's like slapping my back. And I was like,
Djembe, a Somalian drum.
yeah, right. And so to the point where it's like it's actually uncomfortable, and I'm like, hey, it's okay, dude, I'm all right. And he was like, what? And I was like, no, it's just like I'm sunburned. I don't know, whatever I said to him, I was just like, it's okay. And he was like, oh, that's not cool. And I was like, no, it's all good. I just like, it's enough drumming, on my back. And he turned around. He's like, okay, you do me. And I was like, no.
You do me.
He was like, you drum on my back. And I was like, no, I'm okay, dude. And he was like, oh,
was he Japanese? Was he Japanese?
No. This is a long time ago. This is back in the States.
Okay, so it was like, do you kung fu?
It was quite funny. And then he was all like, he said to me something. He's like, oh, I see. You're a taker, but you're not a giver. I was like, oh, that's not cool, dude. I just don't want to drum on your back. Anyway, funny moment of people touching each other. I think you gotta be like humble and flexible, and not to say like you weren't justified to say to the guy, hey dude, like come on, don't touch people. But
I learned something tonight. Sorry, I'm just interrupting.
Yeah, no.
I watch people in pubs and places that get like, I'll get the bouncer, or like I'm a gangster, I'll hit him. Or there was a guy there who's a martial arts master who said like, I will hit him. I fight with words.
Right, there you go. Do that.
I fight with words. I used words tonight that made him shrink. I think, and even my mate said to me, it made him shrink into like 1969 record shrink wrap. If you know what I mean, then we've taken off. Because shrink racks. By the way, don't keep. This is my vinyl message to everybody.
Oh, that is a
Don't
nice
keep your,
vinyl collection. Good grief.
yeah.
Okay,
Don't
sorry.
keep your records in shrink. It actually destroys
Right.
records. It's chemicals,
Yes.
etc. Take the sticker off. If a guy says to you a record's worth something in shrink, if you're going to sell it, yes, I am removing shrink from every record. If I can take a hype sticker off and pop it in the box, but keep a record out of shrink.
What about
There are
what's your opinion
there
about
are
like
che-
outer
there's chemical
sleeves? Shrink wrap is
out of
shrink wrap, but outer sleeves are outer sleeves. Are we making a distinction between those two?
So I'll show you because South Africa it's quite I think I'll show you. This is like a okay, so I'll show you. This is a shitty. It's probably a Zimbabwean person. It's a Shirley Bassey.
Right. Right.
Got some shitty old plastic
Right.
here that's like
That's
this
okay.
is crap. No,
Right.
no. This plastic,
Uh-huh.
okay, is gonna cause chemical reactions.
Okay.
It's old.
I thought there's like two different kinds.
No. There's plastic and there's plastic. There are new sleeves. They come from
Okay.
China, wherever. I've got boxes here. So no, the burning spear. Let's get one of the newer ones that I've just like.
Yeah, there's
Oh God, I'm
plastic
going
and
to
there's
need to.
plastic. You heard it here. You heard it here, folks. There's
No.
plastic and there's plastic. What's up,
New
DJ Vinyl
Poland.
Vertigo? Saying hello. Hold on. I'm not. Keep going.
Hey,
Dude ass
Scotty,
face
hey,
likes your campers. I love I've had a couple pairs of campers.
Scotty's just like, let me just show you. Well, where's the good shit?
Right, but I heard there's like PVC. There's like, and then there's like poly.
No. There's a new stuff that's coming out. It's recent.
Okay.
No, it's like I'm putting all of my good records into it. Here's one of my. I'll pull out a South African record. I don't know what this shit is. This is the new stuff. It doesn't. It's not an old like thick plastic.
Right.
It's like.
Yeah, that's not good, or that is good.
This is good.
Okay.
It doesn't. There's no chemical reactions. This is that Ashikameti, the one I showed you, which has got the.
Yeah, that looks amazing. Hold on, let's see it.
It's a South African.
Okay,
Jazz.
that looks really good. South African jazz.
I mean, this is based out of Chicago. I mean, oh God.
And they're South African players, all of them, or it's an ensemble, or it's
This Wax went on his show and a couple of the others, and
wow, that looks good.
Came out of pressing house in Chicago.
Oh, I think we're both backwards. Actually, I think I noticed I was backwards, and I think both of us are backwards. Let me see if I can flip us both around.
I've never done settings in this, eh?
I think I'm backwards as well myself. Wow, that looks great.
Black lungs.
Black lungs. Looks cool.
I mean, it's a very black political
Okay.
album. So some people may not like it, but I mean, this musician. I mean, he's recording abroad. So where was this recorded? I mean, it's 4 sides. It's on an international label out of Chicago. Further reading, Asher. Instathim.com, Asher, Fred Moten. Oh God, I mean, this album is just, and also it's like matte, but we're getting back to the sleeves because that's where I started. I want to, it's this new plastic.
Okay.
Like, yeah, and I mean, I haven't even taken these out and put them in the back yet. I do that with most of my records.
Right.
You know, I'm starting. You know. By the way, this collection here, I've got.
I just flipped your camera around, and I forgot that I flipped it, and I was like, he's got another giant stack of records on the other side of his camera, but it's the same one that was on the other side.
No, I've got a new little thing. I mean, I've got a new little desk here. Actually, people are going to love this.
Stefan has some he sent me some photos of some of his gear. He's got some insane gear.
No, I couldn't do this before. I've got a desk now that can move around the room.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. Look at this collection. Nice, dude. Well done. Very well done.
I can't even see there's turntables and shit there, and you can move around the whole room.
Oh, good grief. Look at this. You're a maniac, dude. You're okay. I didn't realize. I knew your obsession was serious, but that's even.
Hey, Brad. No. I still want to get on the show where we talk about cameras and stuff.
No, it's true, but it's like
that's what attracted me to your show. Is like you can talk about a camera, You know,
Yeah, I'm looking for some cameras.
other night I had a bit of a weird dream. Because well, everybody who watches this show knows that 4AD and I are good friends,
4D,
and
yep. He's a regular
yeah,
around here.
he's like just like the bestest of the best of like you just want to get into a space where you again can play with words. You're either gonna shit yourself,
He's a wordsmith.
okay, or you're gonna understand words, and words are very powerful. You know,
Totally agree. Yeah.
Bob Marley, a couple of other people talk about words,
Yeah.
but I had a weird kind of thing the other night because depending on which show goes, but I thought one day I would love to be on a stream with you, me, maybe one or two other people, whatever, and Mazzy, good old
Yeah.
Baz, talking about photographs and music.
Photographs. Yeah. I was about to say I wouldn't be able to I couldn't be able to. I have imposter
Somebody
syndrome
died
about.
today. There was a photographer, one of the famous rock photographers died like yesterday or today.
Oh, bummer. I didn't hear. I don't know if I heard about
Yeah, I
that.
saw
Oh,
that.
that
It
sucks.
was on. Oh my God! Who was it? God,
I
there's been so
I
many people
probably don't even
died
know,
this.
even if you said the name. I'm just like it's impossible to know everybody, and
Yeah,
but I would like to
no,
know. We'll do a little feature on him, or we'll like send a little
Brian,
tribute
we
out.
don't have to know everything.
No,
This is
exactly.
what I
Yeah,
like about you. Like, you don't know everything, and I don't know everything. I learn from
right,
you. You learn from me.
for sure.
You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? But it was oh God, somebody in the in the comments, please. I'm never going to call them peanuts. I don't like that word.
yeah, it's a little
Maybe
bit.
you can graduate to macadamias or pistachios.
Oh, there's a funny one. There's a funny that reminds me of a funny story. The dead are on a like a press panel. They're getting like they're having like a press conference, and one of the press people says to him, "Has the fame changed you? Has the money and the fame changed you? How has it changed the Grateful Dead?" And Bob Weir gets on stage and he says, "Yeah, it's definitely changed us. It's like those like really hard to open pistachios. I don't even bother with them anymore."
My parents, my late parents were involved in an ice cream factory and with an Italian ice cream maker.
Oh
And
wow,
when I was a
interesting.
kid, I used to go to the factory and just like grab the
What did you
when
hear that,
nobody was
folks?
when
Seven is from
nobody was
ice.
look.
He's got an ice cream legacy.
No,
He's
but
from
the
ice cream
gelato.
royalty, Italian ice cream royalty.
No, and my life's just mad. But end of the day, there was pistachio ice cream, and Stefano was the ice cream maker. And they made pistachio ice cream. But let me tell you,
Stefano's pistachio ice cream. I want to get my
it
taste
was
buds on that.
gelato. It was
That sounds good. Yeah, pistachio
but
itself. The word is Italian, right?
the pistachio
Pistachio.
nuts are, like I love nuts, eh? I
Yeah,
really do.
sure.
You know, that yeah, it's kind of weird. You start at like the basic peanut, which is it could be racist in Africa. I mean, I'm not being racist or whatever. They call it the monkey nut. That's a soft. You peel it.
Okay.
Then you've got like you got your macadamias, you've got your pistachios, you've got your walnuts, etc. But I mean, like a good bag of solid nuts.
Right.
You know,
It's
and and
true.
and
It's like the king of
and they
foods,
spice them
really.
up, yeah. But even yeah, and then you get the Japanese style where they do a little bit of wasabi on the outside. You know how we've kind of made it like a nouveau cuisine of nuts.
Yeah, man, I'm all about it, to be honest. I love me some nuts. These nuts,
I
I
know
love.
that's I
This is
love
the nut.
nuts
This is
too.
the nut stream.
Uh, no,
I
it
love
is
it though,
because
dude. It's great. I mean, I like the what's the big one, the Brazil nut, maybe is it? Like there's one that I remember like when my grandparents would get like that was the first time I'd ever had like exotic nuts. Like the first time I'd ever had anything like besides a peanut, I was like, what
me
is
too.
this?
Also later, my parents weren't into fancy stuff. I learned it by myself.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I
so,
remember.
so, so what was like? We just like had.
I don't
Then
know.
then the ice cream factory happened. Okay, so we discovered pistachios for the first time.
Right.
Then there was like walnuts and macadamias and oh my God. And then you
Chestnut.
just and like
Yeah.
yeah, I'd never had chestnuts until 2001 when I moved to the States. 9/11 happened, whatever, and I like seeing them roasting chestnuts. Oh
Right.
my God. Oh my God.
In Japan, it's enormous. It's this whole there's a whole world of they're called what are they modon from like I think it's French. The modon like mom like what's the French Mont Blanc the
Mont
cake
Blanc.
Mont Blanc cake, right? That's from modon. That's from I don't know if it's the same. I'm getting two words
No,
confused,
Mont
but
Blanc is
it's like a cream. It's like it's chestnut. It's chestnuts. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure
no,
the
no,
flavor
they're
of
like these soft, they're like these round, like they're in a
yeah.
brown
Yeah.
thing,
But
they're round.
they turn the chestnuts. They grow these chestnuts, and I think if I remember right, because I think there's
Oh
a
my God,
grove.
they're so amazing.
They're in these very spiky sort of pine coney things,
Correct?
and you break them open, and then they're soft. They're not even like nutty at all,
No,
and
no,
they're
it's like melting in your mouth.
yeah, and then they roast them, and then they turn into these sort of like hot potato kind of things. I've never had that. I don't know if I've
Yes,
ever had like a crunchy. I think they're too hard. I think you have to like. Oh, in the South, in America, they have boiled peanuts. This is a thing. If you go to the South, and I never had this until I was an adult, but basically like New Orleans and the deep South, they have these like bathtubs on the side of the highway with like giant stoves underneath them, and you just roll up on them like like how people sell like honey or like a little farmer's market on the side of the road, they'll have boiled
oh,
peanuts.
we've got that here all
Do you?
along. If you
Okay.
go Cape
Okay.
Town, we've got all these farmers markets. I mean, it's actually weird. Today I think 3 or 4 of Cape Town's restaurants have been rated in like the top restaurants in the world.
For what? Oh, rated. I think you said rated. Okay,
Yeah,
rated.
yeah.
All right.
No, I mean,
That doesn't
we have a
surprise
Japanese.
me.
No, but we have a Japanese restaurant here. But the old geezer, as I call and 4AD would get me, is an old Japanese guy. Okay,
Okay.
it is like and I've been in Japan. It is one of the best Japanese restaurants I've ever been to
Okay.
because the
Good.
ingredients or whatever. But it's not cheap. I only go there when friends invite me or whatever. This because
Right.
that's expensive stuff. Okay, but from your udon to whatever your sashimi, and this old geezer. Actually, there's a YouTube show. I'll pop it to you on the Insta,
Okay.
and just so you can have a laugh. They do a
Okay.
little bit of a show.
Yeah, I
But
want to see.
I go there. I go there because I just want to start off with it like a good miso. Just to like
Right.
settle me. A little bit of
Yeah.
sushi, sashimi, whatever. Okay, and then I go for the teppanyaki, and then afterwards, and on the teppanyaki, it's not necessarily about the meat. I want those mushrooms.
Okay. You're all about the mushrooms. Right.
I love mushrooms. Yeah, yeah, just shrooms and veg.
Right.
Good veg. I mean, I love meat, but I've eaten too much over my life. In my life, I'm moving off too much meat.
I need to
Red
do the
meat.
same. I need to do the same.
Um,
I got
but
one for you. Yeah.
but you are so blessed because
It's cheap
Japan.
here. It's cheap and good. Yeah. And the quality is excellent. It's
I
amazing.
don't know if it's cheap for some of us, for whatever, but you're
No,
blessed.
it's cheap.
You're
Fucking eating
you're in a
Japan is
wonderful
cheap.
space.
Well, it's not that it's cheap. It's that uh everything I always kind of say that like apples, like for example in America, I feel like they have the highest quality apple that you can get, and they have the lowest quality apple. They have the real mushy kind, and then they have the like the one from eight. They have the like
I don't want mush. I want crunchy.
you want the crunchy one, right? In
I don't
Japan,
want no mush.
they don't have the breadth of variety, but all of the variety is shift. They have the best, and then the worst here is like the middle in this back home. It's something like this. I feel like they don't have. You can't buy shitty mushy apples here. They don't have them. Like nobody you wouldn't find them. Just as an
Well, because
example.
no, it's just like audio and records. Japanese people have good taste. They are
I
meticulous
I
about quality.
actually this book that I'm getting ready to I'm probably going to end up reading. It's called the like what's it called? Like the Philosophy of Shadows or something. It's a book that was written like 1300 years ago or something, and it was translated into English about 50 years ago. But this bookstore that I was mentioning that I'm going to go do a video about, a couple of the people who curated the shelf mentioned that it was kind of the first Western look at like a Japanese aesthetic. It was like somebody verbalized what a Japanese aesthetic is, and I don't really know what's in the book, but I'm excited to go find out. But it mentions
I
in
love
word.
it.
Yeah, it's just like the one word that they mention is nuance. I saw that like written twice, is the nuance of something. So I'm expecting to read like, it's kind of what we all sort of already expect, this like ephemerality and this sort of, Japanese are like, they say that there's like 72 seasons. Like the notion of like winter, spring, summer, fall is like, it's not a Japanese concept. They have the
Winter,
season of
spring,
the
summer, or fall.
peonies and the season of the dragonflies and the season of the cherry blossoms and they're all these like week long, 10-day long windows of seasons. And the food and the architecture and the art and the design are all like connected to these things that just like pass through a moment in time, and they go much faster. And not that speed feels like a particularly a notion that you think about when you think of Japanese culture and design, but it's like you're designing for something that only exists for a moment, and there's something about like that moment and it being the present moment and it not being the future or the past, but just now. I think somehow permeates a lot of the cuisine and design and so on. But
I have a question to ask you, and I, just loving this conversation.
me too. Yeah,
I have a question to ask you. Um, don't think political. Okay, so
I
beyond,
don't normally.
yeah, no. So I'm just running away from politics. 40 taught me that. He taught me like just it's all doom and gloom. Richard, the late Richard Thompson, no, not the late. I mean, geez, he's still alive. He just released an album today. Richard and Linda Thompson. Richard Thompson had a bootleg album called Doom and Gloom from the Tomb. But I'm not into the doom and gloom. But
Okay.
just getting back to it is like with the Japanese, like I feel that there's something that they give me that like it's a spirit thing that I kind of want to live.
Say again, it's a spiritual thing.
It's a spiritual thing that I want to live. I want to carry on. I'm not worried about the politics. Like I don't care, like they just keep. There's a survival thing beyond politics. They got their own way of like nuance, as you said, nuancing things, doing things right, etc. And I'm just thinking there was something that I was saying. It's like if I look at Asia, like the country that to me and I've spent 15 years out of the country, probably 10 in different Asian countries, from Myanmar, Mongolia, Cambodia, you name it. My passport to stamps, Hong Kong, China, wherever, Laos, East Timor, Indonesia, living,
Cool.
and loving. But Japan, I just feel like there's no crap there. It's just like they lost the war. Yes, some people think they're difficult people, but I know that like when I deal with something Japanese, I just get like a straight answer. No BS, no bullshit.
Mm.
I don't know. Just remember, we are always. When was the last time you left Japan?
Oh goodness, it's been a little while. It
How
might
many
have
years?
been maybe 2. It's been
Okay,
2.
so
Yeah,
sure. So
maybe.
that's a lucky one because sometimes you can get stuck more. But the more you are inside a country, the less you kind of you're best able to reflect about a country when you're outside of that country.
I agree.
Okay, and you live in an amazing culture that has contributed amazingly towards technology, arts, and more. And yes, they lost the war, um, World War II. But you know what? The children are not responsible for what their parents did.
Mm.
and you live in a brilliant country, and I'm damn jealous.
Well, don't be jealous, but I mean, I'm not
And you know,
Japanese,
no,
so
I
I can't
understand
speak.
your yeah, but I understand your. I lived in many countries, didn't
Right,
speak.
right.
I was always polite. I'd always in France. I couldn't speak French, but I'd walk onto the metro because I was in and out traveling, and I wouldn't be like an American or a Brit. You'd start speaking to a French person immediately in English. I learned the basics. I would say "Excusez-moi, madame" or "Excusez-moi, monsieur. Parlez-vous anglais?" Ah, little, little. Then they will
Right,
look at you, and then they because
right,
you don't you got to be polite to that culture.
right. And humble to them. Yeah, it's like
Of course,
right.
and that's what I see about you. You know, you roll around the town. You know, we know who you are. You don't know everything. You know, we know that you've got your family, you've got the kids tomorrow. Remember the other night I said get a split screen VW. You know, we wanted to do
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
podcast.
Oh,
You know, but
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
I
that's what you were
my
saying. You were saying split screen. Okay, now I totally understand what you're saying. I didn't understand what
yeah
you were
yeah.
saying at the time.
No,
Okay, now
yo,
I get
you
it.
and I said to you, I want to roll a show one day. You
A
and I,
split
as
screen.
ex, because
Okay,
we've
I
both
got
been
to splitty.
ex,
Yeah,
ex, expats in Asia.
right.
That's another whole story.
It's
And
true. It
you
really
just
is.
roll a show where I picture your life. I mean, I think I've walked some similar streets.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah. I think
I mean,
anybody who has like lived, who it's kind of it sounds a little snobbish to if you start talking about
it's
because
not.
any it's not, but but because it's like so there's like no point of reference really for somebody who hasn't had that kind of experience. It's just not interesting and they can't relate to it and there's just like it's immediately it's interesting for about 5 seconds and then it's like I don't know what I can contribute to this conversation. It makes me feel somehow inferior or something like that. So
Don't ever, because
not
why do you
me,
keep
not
coming
me.
back
I'm
here?
saying that like when people say like, if I was just mentioning this the other day, if I go back to America and I get off the plane and I get to customs, the guys are like, the custom officers often say to me like, welcome home. And I'm like, oh, hey, thanks. And they're like, this is your home, right? And I'm like, yes. And they're like,
I'm
it's like
laughing.
Japan. Is Japan like, are you too good for us or something? I'm like, no. I mean, it's not, they don't say that kind of thing outright, but I don't know. There's a lot of implication that comes along with like having a passport full of like stamps, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. And then the other thing is that you end up relating them most to like people who have lived a long time away from home. And then you kind of think that you're a sort of special in that you're like, Lou, you're so global or international, but this is the story of humanity. Like we've moved all around our ancestors. It's only like if our view is so myopic that we can only see like one generation or barely two generations, probably our grandparents if it's not our grandparents, our great grandparents did the exact thing that you and I have done, which is like
Of course,
search.
mine came from Lithuania. We're all migrants.
Right,
America was built on immigrants. Australia, if you like, Europe, probably Africa, etc. Australia was built on immigrants. New Zealand, think
right.
about it.
Yeah, it's
Look at indigenous peoples. Canada. I
and
mean, and I don't want to get into the politics because and just let everybody know. I'm going to let them know on the show. I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. I'm
no.
just me, right?
It's just
And
Yoko
that's
and me, and that's reality. The dream is
yeah.
over. What
And
can
you
I
know what?
say?
And you know what? Do you know? I'm just gonna say, I don't know if he's watching or not, but like 40 and I've discussed like why I love Mazzy, because excuse my language. I'm gonna use the F word, or I'm gonna say
It's
I
okay. Go
F.
for it. Yeah.
I fucking love Yoko Ono too.
Oh yeah,
She came out
Yoko.
of royalty, and you know what? Thank God. Allah, Hashem, whatever you want to call it, um, the Buddha, the whatever. I mean, I've done puja, I've been in Buddhist monasteries and other stuff, but thank something that's spiritual that the Beatles had an output and they didn't last as long as the Stones.
Yeah,
It was,
that's an interesting
it
thought.
is and was what it was. Um, I'm glad that mono box has come out. I mean, I don't have the mono box. I've got the last of the British stereo boxes. I've got all the mono files. Eventually, I'll get that box. I've got a couple of the mono albums. I love the Beatles. And oh my
Yeah,
God, if you had to say to me which, when, where, what, I don't know. There's times I'll go through a George phase. I'll go through a John phase. John spent time in South Africa. David Bowie spent time out. I've been going through a big Bowie phase at the moment. But at the end of the day, and then I just go back to Japanese stuff. I go back to other day. I pulled out like also my Nonsuch records, like Japanese traditional what. There was Jack Holzman, whatever. You know, I collect Nonsuch because of the covers of my classical, and there was some traditional Japanese music there. But you go and listen to it, it's like then bing bong 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 bong,
yeah,
strange sounds. Then I'll go when I do a spreadsheet. That's what I work to. Music is just amazing, and oh my God, people are starting to discover South Africa. It's a bit hip and trendy right now. That's why I get a bit sick of it. But Japan has always just been this amazing, like you lost the war, what came out, um, and you're in a country of it's not easy, small spaces, um, you know, rice fields. What do we call them? Like we live small spaces. I mean, my space is tiny here.
right.
Okay, but you live a life.
Yeah, I
Okay, and you
yeah,
get around on that bike of yours, and you know, when you and your daily, you'll pop up here, and you'll be like, I'm here, or I'm doing this, or I'm just testing this, or you know, and you were looking earlier. I know you dealing with a child tomorrow morning, so you better tell me when to get the hell off here.
no, no, no. I worked.
Um,
It's summer holiday, but my one of them just drove off. One of them just got taken to the train station, and my wife is coming back in I don't know some time. So whenever she comes back, if it's breakfast time for her, then I need to get off of here.
you
So I
know,
might.
you can always just
Yeah,
with
sure, sure,
music.
sure.
Yeah, if we
But
chat, you can always just cut a show.
yeah,
But
but
what I'm
it's
saying is, and we're not even talking about records. We're just talking about life.
yeah.
And this is what I think about your show. And you know, I mean, now you call yourself Tokyo Record Style, but you are way beyond Tokyo and just records.
Well, Stefan, you're going to give me a big head if you don't stop. So
No, no,
thank
no,
you
I'm
for
not.
all
Just,
the kind
but you
words and
know,
the praise.
no,
And
I'm
it's
straightforward,
it's
eh?
more, slightly more glamorous than it sounds like. Oh, Tokyo, and it's the motorcycle. It sounds a little glamorous. There's something very very normal, very average about it. It's not so, but I'm doing
I
my
know that.
best. No, no, no,
I
and
know why you have
fake
to get out of the
humility.
house.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know I know why you have to get out of the house.
Why?
Okay, when you want to stream and everybody's sleeping,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
there's a kid that's got to get to school,
yeah, yeah. I
blah
have
blah blah blah
six.
blah,
Yeah,
and you're in a cross-cultural relationship,
yeah.
etc.
That's
etc.
hard.
I'm being
Yeah.
straightforward. You know
Sure.
me.
It's hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, I set it up that way. I set it up that way because it's
it's
like that's fun.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like why would you want to? I don't know. It's more interesting. There's more curves on the road. I want to take all the turns. But thank you for saying those thoughtful things. I'm touched by them. I really am, and the feeling is mutual.
I
I'm
know,
very
no, it's
curious
not
about South
condescending,
Africa.
eh?
No, 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 no. I really appreciate it. Thank you. But let's stop blowing each other's heads up. But thank you so much. But back to this Japan thing. You're talking about South Africa being like hip and cool, and it's a bit nauseating. Japan is like weird. Like it couldn't be more hip and couldn't be more sort of almost borderline nauseating at the moment. And I'm like I'm starting to sound like a snob when I'm like, look at all these fucking foreigners. You guys are like I'm starting to become one of these. Not really, but it's saturated. The whole world is oversaturated with Japan, and it's just not like even the word Japan is sort of like I'm so fucking sick of hearing about Japan and how great its food is and how great its design is. I'm like, I'm sorry,
I love it. I love what you're saying. Sorry, it's the ADHD here, but I've got a great idea for like if we ever do a stream about vinyl and like that is so overrated. Is the show will be called Not the Fucking Obi Strip.
Sure, yeah, you care
You
about
know
the
what I
obi, but
mean?
I'm a sucker
Because
for it
everybody's
too.
no, I love it. But what I'm saying is it's like so it's the hype.
Yeah, there's a lot of
You
hype
know,
around it.
uh,
But
yeah, it's a hype. I mean, everybody's hyped about you know, South Africa has been through its ups and downs and this and that, but Japan's amazing. I mean, it's
Yeah,
in fact
I
Asia.
kind of want to unravel like like is it though, is it really, is it anywhere, is it any different than anywhere else? That's a question I want to put forward. Like maybe we even have to kind of like,
Japan.
yeah, but because hear me out. Okay, Japan is just it was just islands that the Mongols came here to, you know? It's not, it
Well,
wasn't.
I lived in Mongolia,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
I
I know.
understand the difference in a. It's 15 years out, 10 in and out of Asia.
Yeah, I'm talking
Japan.
about hundreds of thousands of years ago. I'm not talking about like culturally, but I'm saying that
Yeah,
if you go to Southeast Asia and you look like, let's say Buddhism, I think what's Buddhism, a couple, what, 1500 to 1800 years old or something like this. If you go look at a Buddhist, and it came, you know, it came to Japan in the 400, 700 something. It came around then, and it came via India and China and Southeast Asia, and then, or however it got, Korea, and then Japan. It eventually got here. And if you go look, oh, here we go. Dang it, to be continued. I want to, yeah, I gotta hop off. I gotta hop off, unfortunately. But to be continued. It's an interesting idea.
no. This is brilliant because I mean, it Japan holds something that has held something
Yeah, what is it? Let's
solid,
figure it out.
solid.
Let's figure it
No, no,
out.
solid as opposed to the other countries. And I can tell you about when I was in Vietnam and I landed up at a place where Confucius had studied.
Okay. All right.
And but I've not been back in time. I can only talk about my time and knowing why you sitting in a country where I'd be more than happy to live, and the others I would be a little bit more afraid.
Let's leave it there, and let's come
TBC, to
back to
be
that idea.
continued.
To be continued, because I really do want to understand, like, what is it? What, let's unravel this. Some people will roll their eyes at me and be like, how can you possibly have lived there for as long as you have and you still don't know the most basic fundamental notions of Japan, you know? And I'll say like, I don't know, but let's continue to unravel it. I got to say
I, um, I,
goodbye.
I'm going to give a message to the viewers just to say, go listen to two bands tonight, one American, one Japanese, either the Flower Traveling Band or the Grateful Dead.
Nice. I love that. That's a good way to end the stream. Very nice, dude. Okay. To be continued. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for letting me continue and wrap up this stream that had to end abruptly last night. And that feels good. Thanks for coming up, Steph. It's great to see you. Great to
Oh,
chat.
thank you. No, thank you
Let's,
for your time. You are such a wonderful
oh man,
host.
I love hanging out. Let's do it again soon, okay? Get
Later,
to sleep.
Skater.
It's 2 a.m. Go to sleep in Cape Town. Go
That's
to sleep.
fine. It's
Okay.
weekend, eh?
All
I'm
right.
sleeping.
Same here. Same here. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye. I don't know how this ends. Where do I switch off?